Welcome back to the Fucking Ridiculous podcast. It's episode 22. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 2,200 years old right now. I look old. I feel old. I'm really fucking tired. But anyway, I'm excited to be in the Christmas, December timeframe. Thanksgiving is finished, and that went really well. First and foremost, I want to give some shout outs. Okay. So I want to give a shout out to my husband's advertising class down at UNC. Y'all were adorable. I learned a ton and had so much fun just being around young people. Being around young people is just, it's just so invigorating and super fun. And it makes you kind of like just feel better about humankind sometimes. So at least in that setting. I do want to share, I had a surprisingly, and not surprisingly because my husband is not delightful, because he is delightful most of the time. But I had a surprisingly really fun time with him yesterday, and it involved like being in a car for a long time. And I don't usually love that at all. So I went to UNC with him to be like a speaker at his class. And just to kind of like get the vibe there. And so we drove down to North Carolina, which is like 2.5 hours. And then we did the class. And then we had dinner at the bar before we drove home. Or I drove home because I'm a solid wife. And we just had a lovely, lovely time. And it made me think like, it sucks that we had to like go out of town and be in the car for so long to have a really nice time. But, you know, shit gets busy. So anyway, it was really great. So yay. Second shout out. New Jersey Devils and Boston Bruins on fucking fire this season. That's all I can say. All I can say. The Bruins have their veterans. They're just crushing it. It's like they're Benjamin Buttoning. They're like getting older, but their body's getting younger or something. And then the Devils are so young and everyone was like, they're going to suck. They're going to suck. They are not sucking. They are on fire. So yay, the U2 teams. And then the last thing is, okay, in the spirit of giving, because December, Christmas time is the season of giving, I'm going to do a few gives out during this episode. And the first one is, over Thanksgiving, I had a lot of free time, or more free time than I normally would. And so I found this show and I binge watched the whole first season, and it was like adorable. So, because I love to support other females, and I absolutely adore Mindy Kaling. I could be saying that wrong. I have been known to say things wrong. Could be Kaling, could be Kling, or could be Kaling. Could be something else entirely. But anyway, girl from The Office. She has a show called The Sex Lives of College Girls. I think yeah. I don't even remember what streaming app it's on or whatever, but it is adorable and really funny and cute, and it's like 20 minutes. So if you're looking for something mindless and just fun and funny, there you go. There's that. So back to the experience at UNC yesterday. And I keep saying UNC just because there's so many different colleges in that, like Raleigh, Durham, Wake Forest, Chapel Hill area. So anyway, they had some suggestions for the pod. And so this was one of them. Each week I will introduce or say a quote that is, meant something to me, or is just like motivational, or maybe it's stupid. I don't know, but it'll just be a little quote that either someone has talked to me about, or I've heard, or I've read. And so this week's is, and they already heard this yesterday, but sorry for the repeat. No feeling is final. So if you wake up and you're dead dog exhausted, you're just like, oh my God, I can't face the day. That will likely fade soon. If you are like, oh my God, I'm so in love with this person. They're the greatest. I can't wait. We're totally going to be together forever. That too may not be final. It probably won't be, because you'll have some ups and downs. Because I got to be honest, there are a lot of times where I'm like, I really hate everyone in this house. That feeling also not final. It's fleeting. So the point is, no feeling's ever final. So just sit with that. Journal on it, meditate on it, do whatever. But okay. back to Thanksgiving for a minute. I'll just jump around because that's what this day has been like for me. Thanksgiving was lovely. I actually, it is my favorite holiday, and it's also my brother's favorite holiday, but it's for two different reasons. My brother loves this holiday because they always host it, and they have this great house that's like super fun and can hold a lot of people, and there's all these cooks in the kitchen, and there's tons of great food, and it's just super fun. I love Thanksgiving because my brother and his wife host it, and I have to do the bare minimum. So I don't have to do anything to my house. I don't have to do anything to the outside of my house. I don't have to, sometimes I buy stuff. This year I did make 3 things. I did. And they were delicious. I was told, and I heard Slutty Graham might have given them some props. And that's like major. That would be like your favorite chef giving you like props. So anyway, basically I love Thanksgiving because it's like a total rest vacation for me. And that's what happened. But it wasn't necessarily because it was supposed to be restful, because we were supposed to go out of town and do some fun things as a family. You know, when you have like the idea of like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to take a little family trip, and then we're going to go to a football game. And then we're going to, got 2 adjoining rooms because I was like, I'm just going to splurge because we have 5 people and it's fucking ridiculous to travel with 5 people when they're all teenagers and you're crunched into one really tiny room. So I got a room and I was like, we're going to get up the next day. We'll do a little bit of Christmas shopping. We'll have like a late lunch. Then we'll all go to this hockey game. It'll be so fun. Then we'll drive home and everyone can have 2 more days to themselves. And none of that happened because somebody was sick. Somebody had World Cup watching plans and I was pissy. So none of it happened, except my husband did take my daughter because she was like, oh, hell no. You said we were going somewhere. So they did. They went. They came back. And I watched the show. But Thanksgiving was good overall. Moving into December, it's been kind of a weird news time. We've had World Cup stuff going on. U.S. just won yesterday, which was big. And they were playing against a team that is, the country is spelled Iran. It is not Iran like the Flock of Seagulls song. I know this now because I watched the interview with the gentleman when he said, reporter says, please stop mispronouncing my country's name. It is Iran. Iran. I guess if you want to be cooler about it, you can go Iran. Maybe. So for all the times that I've said I ran so far away, I apologize because it is Iran and I know this now. So now you do too. Don't make that mistake again because you'll get called out on it when you're in an interview. Breaking news just came in on my phone. One of my absolute favorite hockey players, his name's Chris Letang. He plays for the Penguins, and it's been great because he and Sidney Crosby and Malkin, they 3 are together, and they're like having a great season, and they're like the veterans on the team, and he is just awesome. He's out indefinitely right now because he has a hole in his heart, and I think that he had like a mini stroke, and it was in the news, so I don't feel like I'm like breaking confidence or anything, but I really, really hope he's okay, and I really, really hope he gets back on the ice soon. So thoughts for those fans and the Pens, and especially him and his family. Snapchat CEO is pulling Mr. Twatter, and he is now saying, get your asses back to the office. I don't think Snapchat's doing that well right now. Someone could correct me on that, but I just don't. Twatter is no longer going to monitor stuff about COVID and COVID vaccines. So gaslighting is totally fine if you want to do that on the Twatter because no one's going to tell you not to. If you want to make fun of Sir Twat, you still can't do that. And he might come at you like a middle school bully and like he did for Apple and then be like, Apple, you take 30% of the profit of every time someone has an app. And to which Apple says, fuck off, man. Everybody knew about it. I actually didn't know that, but apparently I'm in the minority there. So I'm just going to pretend that I did. Don't tell anyone that I didn't. So, okay. I went to college and I enjoy college sports, when they're on in my house. I don't really have any favorite teams. My husband's brainwashed everyone in my house to like only a certain team. I went to a different college, but so I'll root for them, but I'm not going to like follow my sword if they don't win a game. I'm trying to figure out this whole like football, like playoffs and who's going to it's not called the Final Four because that's basketball. It's like the championships, whatever. Who's the best? Who's the best? It's really fucking confusing and I'm really over it. So just have the games and move on. It's stupid. You're all great teams and y'all have bad attitudes. So everyone deserves to win. There are too many sports happening right now. So it's very, very hard to follow. NFL has stuff going on. Now apparently basketball is happening in the college world and in the pro world. Hockey is always happening. And then you've got World Cup on top of that. Like, it's too much. It's too much. And P.S., apparently 75% of the world is gambling on all of these sports. So no one's going to have any money to buy Christmas presents or even buy food for Christmas because food is so expensive. And I think another interest rate hike is coming. So anyway, let's focus on some positive stuff as it is the season of giving. So when visiting the adorable class yesterday, I learned a lot of things. And I'm going to share a few with you. I learned a lot of things specifically about like college now versus when I was in college, and then Gen Z. So Gen Z, they are fascinating to me because they are very smart about a lot of stuff and very dumb about a lot of stuff at the same time. And I say this in a loving way because I talk about a couple of my kids in this way, because it's like they used to say, oh, so-and-so is book smart, but has no common sense, So it's kind of that same thing where it's like they know everything about like their computers and their phones and their shoes and their, like how to get anything done quickly using their mini computer and their phone. But I'm not sure if they know how to like make a meal or like in my house, maybe even flush a toilet, but like hammer a nail or maybe like wrap a present. I don't, just basic stuff. So that was interesting to me because it was right in front of me. They are extremely easy to influence, i.e. via socials. So if you are a big influencer, you can pump your whatever product and people will buy it. If you're like a micro influencer, which is like every college has some of those as well, then if people are dialed in, you can like whatever you like and everyone else will like it. Because if it is on TikTok, it's got to be cool, right? So I kind of got that vibe a little bit, maybe not as much in that particular classroom, but as the ages trickle down, it's definitely more prevalent. The other thing that I found is that everyone looks really good, like all the time. Like even if this was like a bad hair day or like they just had on sweats or whatever, everybody looks way better than when I was in college. And that made me feel like, oh my God, it's a wonder I like had any attention from the opposite sex when I was in college. But also it makes me feel like that would suck to wake up, look at your phone and be like, ooh, look at all the beautiful people. I better pump it. I better like step it up. So there's a pro and a con to that. But anyway, everybody was like gorgeous and beautiful. And I remember being like, oh, I feel really like ugly. But anyway, the other thing that I found really interesting is that Gen Z values like a cross promotion or partnerships. So like if you let's say you love skiing, like they want an added value for their lift ticket. So it's like, if you pay this price, then you get this along with this, which I love because that's like bang for your buck kind of a thing. But it's less about the tangible items and more about the experiences, I think. So that was another thing that I thought was insightful when marketing to Gen Zs. So I have a question that's been a little bit of a debate in our family. So a lot of people have a few days off before the Thanksgiving holiday. And so we have noticed that some people will put their decorations up and their trees up or their decorations out prior to Thanksgiving. I have a couple of children that are like, absolutely not. That is not okay. Thanksgiving needs its own time. And then after Thanksgiving, you can decorate, you can play the Christmas music, but you can't do it before or during, like on Thanksgiving. So the verdict in our house is it has to be after. So I don't know about your house, but I would love it if we did like a little before or after Thanksgiving just to see where people are on that. I definitely hold tight on Christmas music after Thanksgiving because there are only but so many Christmas songs and you do get tired of them after a while. I thought it would be fun to rank the top 3 worst Christmas songs, in my opinion, and then the top 3 best Christmas songs. And so this comes because I am compiling a playlist for an upcoming Christmas Darty, and everyone is sending me their 3 favorite songs. And so I was going through and I was putting it together, and I remember thinking, ooh, interesting choice, or, oh, I love that one. So here are my top 3 worst that I can think of at this moment. Because remember, no feeling is final, so I could change my mind tomorrow. Number 3 is Baby It's Cold Outside. Even though Frank Sinatra is singing it, it is still kind of a creepy vibe. Like, oh no, why don't you stay a little longer? Wink, wink, like tug, tug. No, I don't know. It's just creepy vibe. Santa Baby. It's gross. Santa is a jolly man with a bowl full of jelly in his belly and a beard that is very gray. And he is a kind, sweet, gentle soul. And he is not to be sexualized in any way. So gross, Santa Baby. Blech, gross. Number 1, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus might be the worst song ever because A, it is telling your children that there is no Santa or that Santa is a fuckboy, and that's awful. B, it's saying that you have to kiss whoever's under the mistletoe, which if you didn't want to kiss Santa or if you didn't want to kiss the mom, you have to. And C, that's a weird kind of role play that needs to be done behind closed doors because nobody needs to see that. No, nobody needs to see that. So I just think that's the worst song ever. And they have a child singing it. Gross. So honorable mention, Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Also, awful. 3 best Christmas songs. Number 3. All I Want for Christmas, the Mariah Carey song. I know it's overplayed and I know she's made like a gajillion dollars off of it, but it's still so catchy. How can you not like it sometimes, right? Number 2, Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, the Wham song. Love that song. It might just be George Michael. I can't remember. But anyway, love that song. And for those of you who haven't had enough of my singing voice yet, this one is my absolute favorite, especially when done really well. Dun 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 dun. I don't know any words of the song, but it is awesome. I think it's called Carol of the Bells. Such a great song. Honorable mention, Christmas wrapping by the Waitresses. Merry Christmas, and I think I'll have someone this year. I don't know the words to that song either, but it goes something like that. Another thing that was brought to my attention by the Sweet class was that maybe I could do a weekly What I'm Loving This Week, because that's got a positive spin on it. So I love that idea. And this week, I am loving the fact that sweater season's here. And as a professional sweater, I have to be extremely careful with what I purchase because too much sweating leads to bad things, period. I won't even go into that anymore. But I found a cowl neck, turtleneck, baggy sweater that I think is as flattering as it could possibly be on me with the body type that I have, knowing that it is a cowl neck, turtleneck, baggy sweater. And I'm loving it. And so if you felt like this, and in the spirit of giving, I'm doing a giveaway. If you go to Instagram and follow the FR Pod, you'll see the details about a giveaway for this particular sweater. And depending on supplies and sizing, you could probably pick the color as well. So I will randomly select someone if you go and follow and say, hey, I'm in, or register, or just follow the details, because this will be my first giveaway too. So I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. But just follow the FR Pod on Instagram and look for it. You know, we're givers. We are givers. Let's be givers this year. And I'm trying to, like, in the last month of the year, really bump up the podcast. If you could, out of the kindness, givingness of your heart, follow or subscribe. Make sure you're following us or subscribing to the podcast on whatever platform, Spotify, YouTube, or Apple. They're different for each one, but you'll know because you might get like a notification, or it might just automatically feed. But you can go and figure out if you're following it or not if you see it there. If you do that, that would be great. If you want to go to the next level, because you're next level giver, if you want to follow all of them, that would be awesome too, because subscribers means better stuff for all of us. If you want to share your favorite episode with a friend or two that might not know about the podcast, that would be awesome as well. And there's usually like just a little box that you push and it's like share, and then you just text it to them and it's awesome. Just a little added bonus for those who are overachievers. Totally respect that. I like threes as well, so that's how we're going to do that. If you are on social, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, a little bit of Facebook, I am now starting to post more content about my authentic life. Another tip from the class, because authenticity is something that is very important and resonates deeply with Gen Z. Everything that I tell you is not a lie. Everything is true. And this is actually my life. You don't know all of the deets because that would be super boring and you might want to cry at some of it, but I'll be sharing more. So if you follow the socials at the FR Pod, you will be able to get added bonus content from yours truly. I can't think of a better gift. Not so deep thoughts. So I just told you about the thing that I'm loving. I love turtlenecks. I don't look good in turtlenecks. I know that they're not for everyone. They kind of maybe look grandmotherly, but I love them and I'm so glad it's turtleneck season. 2, wrapping matters. Wrapping with the R and wrapping with the WR. If you are giving any gift, the way it is wrapped really does make a difference. And I hate saying that because I hate wrapping, not with an R, but with a WR. But it does matter. So if you have children that need to be put to use, have them wrap your gifts. And if they do it wrong, have them keep wrapping them over and over again. It will occupy everyone and you will get stuff done. So 1, giving season. Let's all try to give a shit about someone else every day of the month. Like maybe it's a different person every day of the month. So maybe it's a person you do know, maybe it's a person you don't know, but just throw them a smile, give them a compliment, give them a high five or a fist bump. Don't be mean to them. Just give a shit about someone else. I think that would go a long way. So next week, we're going to discuss some more things about Christmas, gift ideas, and some other stuff that will happen, I'm sure. In the meantime, happy December. It's the last month of 2022. Let's make it count. And for all of the fucked up things that happen during the day, it's going to be fine. And no feeling is fine.
3, 2, 1.